All right, I want to start by talking about the play-in tournament that the NBA proposed. I'll admit, when I first heard the rumors about it, I was kind of like, what are they doing? What is this? What is it, soccer? Like, what's going on? And then I think because of other times you've seen regular seasons disrupted, I think with hockey in the Olympics years ago, where you were like, wait, don't they just shut it down? Like, is that what they're trying to do here? And I know that we all collectively, as soon as something new is proposed, I don't know what's wrong with us. We just go like, oh, it's stupid, right? A lot of times things can be stupid, but I think I might like the play-in tournament, is my point. The play-in games, I know that I've been on record with it going into it and being critical of it, not because I don't think it's fun. The games are a lot of fun. It's an extra product to sell, which is always a very important part of trying to figure out why any of this stuff happens. I do think it's a little weird on the TV broadcast at times where the announcers, as we get down to this stretch of trying to figure out what the seating is going to be, who's going to be in the play-in, who's going to be out, where they're like, man, the NBA deserves all this credit. It's like, it's not. Like, you could make it 12 teams. And then we'd have even more teams alive. Do you want to do that too? Like, I think there'd be some kind of cutoff. And I do think, you play it out over 10 years. There's going to be a 7 seed where you go, why does that team with that record have to play one more game to prove what they've just done over the regular season? And that's the fundamental part of it that I don't like. Mark Cuban's even brought this up, talking about some of the standing stuff being like, it's something that maybe needs to be looked at in the future. Anyway, but with the play-in tournament, now that I realize what it is, it's not disruptive at all, really. It's pretty seamless. There'll be pool play games that are designated as pool play games in November, right? Then there'll be 8 teams in a single elimination tournament in December, and then you're going to have a Final Four at a neutral site, probably Vegas or something. And the final teams will play an extra game. I've seen the jokes about, wanting to shorten the season. I get it. Everybody seems to want to shorten the season. I would argue if you had a 72-game season, the guys would just find a way to sit out games because it's cool taking off work. And then again, it's not always on the players missing this time. We know that it's a directive of the medical staff and coaches and all that kind of thing too. So it's not all just on the players, which is important to remember. But when I looked at the details of all this stuff, I'm like, this really isn't some huge break. The games are just the regular season games. And then we have this final thing here. So the only extra games will be the 2 teams that are in the finals. So will it make the early season more exciting? If you're not locked into October, November, December basketball, will this make you watch it? Maybe, it's not going to happen right away. Maybe there'll be a curiosity rating spike. Does it die down? I mean, Silver even said, to his credit, it's like, it's not going to be an overnight success, but we're trying to build a new tradition here. It's definitely extra TV money too, so let's not kid ourselves. And then when you look at the way the designation would be for the pool play teams or those games, like they'd be in these 18 pools, which doesn't work out on the math for only 30 teams, which tells you, oh, that's because they're probably going to expand to 32 teams. And there you go. 4 pools, no problem. Because expansion is definitely coming. People have been talking about this now for a while. I don't think anybody is on the other side of that because it's just growing your business out. That's the thing, that we can look at all the TV money, we can look at the valuations of the franchises, but anybody's that's doing business at this level, the way that a lot of these owners have done business in the past, they're never content. They're never content. So it's about growing it consistently and trying to bring in even more revenue, which is what a lot of this stuff is leading to. The question I'd ask, though, is like, what is it going to mean for the players? Because it could be good and it could also be kind of bad. Let me explain this. We fans, media, shit on NBA players a lot. And we get to the point where we'll start conversations with, hey, we know he's good, but are we shitting on him enough? We aren't? Let's start doing it a little bit more. Yeah. Let's just start asking questions, being like, I don't know. Is he a winner? Like, I don't know. Not that many people get to win, dude. And I'm not just talking about Chris Paul here. It's actually happening with Luka right now. We're like, we know Kyrie's been a disaster pretty much every spot. But is Luka not getting enough shit? And that's just the timeline of the NBA star. It just happens. You're really good, play long enough, don't win enough, and Dallas is a mess now. And I'm not telling you Luka deserves no blame. And I'm not even telling you all this stuff is on Kyrie right now, right? But you get the point. Like, we'll have players we don't like, and then there'll be players that we like. And then there's kind of this neutral purgatory tier of NBA players where the topic will be, hey, should I start dumping on this guy a little bit more? I don't know that it happens in any other sport like this. It happens with quarterbacks. right? But imagine being any of the other positions in the NFL. Like, I don't have to deal with any of that stuff. So we do it to NBA players all the time. I couldn't help but think about the Timberwolves play-in victory where they beat the Clippers. They get in the play-in. Timberwolves are back in the playoffs. Beverly's crying. Karl Anthony Towns is acting fucking weird. Anthony Edwards is up on the table. And then they go back to the TNT guys, and they're just killing them. They're laughing their asses off, and they're just making fun of them. Being like, you guys won the play-in turn. Or you get, like, you want to play-in game. Excuse me. I shouldn't even call it that, right? You want to play-in game, and you guys are, like, ready for a parade. Now, I got the Timberwolves side of the excitement, right? But it was also funny, and why I think TNT always works is that we have too many shows that are so deferential to the product that they're afraid to ever say anything. You know, whether or not you ever agree or disagree with the TNT crew, the fact that they would do that, that wouldn't happen, I don't think, on any of the NFL partnerships. I don't think it would happen in college football. I don't think it would happen on an NBA ESPN show. And those guys are just like, I'm going to let them have it. I mean, they went overboard. So, you know, again, if you were a Timberwolves fan, I'm sure you didn't love it. But the point was, it was like, dude, what did you really accomplish? So whoever wins the first in-season tournament, we all know where this is going. The confetti's going to fall. Somebody's going to hand somebody a trophy. The players are going to give us these quotes that they likely are like, yeah, this means a lot. You know, we play the game to win. And they're going to know it's stupid. And their quote is going to be perfectly crafted, but they probably won't mean it. And I could think of a handful of players where I think it'd actually be worse for them to win this if they don't win a normal ring. Like, basically the point I'm getting at here is if Chris Paul's in the final of this first one, I'll probably be rooting against him if he doesn't win a title this year. And Phoenix obviously has a chance. But if Chris Paul is ringless going into 23-24, the idea of him with confetti, sweat, holding a trophy next to silver, and the what's gonna happen to Chris Paul, I'll root against him. I don't want that to happen so bad.